Today, the second Sunday of Lent, we come to the church Santa Maria in Domenica. A tradition holds that on this location once stood the house of the Roman matron Chiriaca, and from this house St. Lawrence would distribute alms to the poor. At some time later, it's believed that this was the location either of a military barracks or a civil defense post. A diaconia with an attached chapel is known to have existed here from the time of the late 8th century. It's probable that this was built from some of the buildings of the former military post. The name Domenica might signify that this church was built on land donated by the emperor, which would make sense if its previous use was for military purposes. While the other Sundays of Lent are celebrated at the largest basilicas in the city, the station is held here today because there was originally no liturgy on this day, the ordination liturgy at St. Peter's on the previous day being considered the Mass for Sunday. When the liturgy was later assigned to this day, this was fixed as the station. Pope St. Paschal I replaced the diaconia with a larger basilica around the year 820. While little decoration from these times remains, one notable feature are the mosaics of the triumphal arch and apse, which are just one example of the many mosaics commissioned by Pope Paschal I. In the mid-15th century, the church was near ruin, and later in that century, the cardinal titular of the church, Giovanni de' Medici, undertook a restoration and additions, including the fine porch. These works largely ended in 1513, when he was elected as Pope Leo X, in which office he would see the beginning of the Protestant Reformation. The basilica again was restored in the mid-16th century. From then until the present day, the church has seen some minor additions and restorations, but it's still today essentially a structure whose appearance reminds us of those last days before Christendom was rent into divisions that remain to the present day. Approaching the church, we see the reason for its name, Santa Maria in Navicella, a second name for the church, on account of the small sculpture of a boat which stands here. Continuing to the church, we pass through the attractive Renaissance porch into the church. The interior is a mix of many different eras, with granite pillars reused from earlier structures. And a medieval mosaic surrounded by decoration from several centuries later. The ceiling is decorated with allegorical images of the church as a ship, carrying on the nautical theme from outdoors. Traditionally, this image has been applied to the church because of the protection she offers from the storms of the world. Just as Noah's Ark was a means of salvation for those on it, so is the church our protection in this life.